Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. More Birthright coverage here as we continue on with the Wizard Realm spell. So we're getting towards the second half of the spells here, and we're moving into another interesting one here called Stronghold, which is very hefty on the required components as far as being able to cast the spell. Similar to Raise, as we looked at a couple videos back. So this one falls under Conjuration and Summoning. It has special Regency cost. We'll get into that. But up front, going to cost you 10 gold bars. So that's not always something wizards have that much access to as far as funds. So certainly something that is going to be for the more serious spellcasters out there, or ones who've had at least a lot of time to plot and maybe get to being able to use the spell. And also, and why here, and this is another reason why it's going to be somewhat few and far between, it's going to require a level 7 source, which, while there are several of those, they're not so common that really they're going to be untapped, and someone else is already going to have claimed them. And then also your character is going to have to be a level 5 to do this, so certainly going to eliminate some of the lower level wizards out there that are already known, and even for your own character, you're gonna have to work towards this a little bit. So the duration of this, it lasts 1 domain turn per level. So well, you're gotta be level 5, right? So 5 domain turns is its duration at a minimum. And then by means of this spell, the wizard conjures up a castle, tower, fortification, or building of any kind. The Regency cost is equal to the gold bar cost of constructing an equivalent stronghold, but difficult or remote terrain doesn't affect the magical version. So for example, a castle 3, and again we'll get into castles and all that stuff, and fortifications once we get more towards the domain abilities, but anyway, so a level 3 castle normally costs you 30 gold bars, which is a hell of an investment in and of itself. This realm spell can do the same for 30 Regency points, regardless of where the castle is placed. So it's a really cool way of sort of conjuring up something of similar level, but not necessarily having to invest that much gold. You're still investing the 10, but Regency certainly can be much more easily accumulated in most cases. And again, the location where the castle's built doesn't become a factor as well. And we'll see how that differs when we get to domain actions. And then finally here, the wizard can make the construction permanent with a permanency spell. Got to have access to that first, right? But you would be aged 10 years in the process. So something certainly to factor in if you're going to be doing that. Now, an elf, sure, they got years to give, right? But a human, that might not necessarily be an investment that they want to make unless they have already found ways of extending their lives beyond normal natural limits, and probably not a spell you're going to cast over and over again if you're trying to make it permanent. So, but certainly something that could be interesting there too for a wizard who gets to establish themselves and really wants some sort of actual tangible fortification. Cool way to go about that. And then the wizard can also dismiss the stronghold at any time. So definitely something that is neat, just to kind of build it up and then just essentially tear it back down when time comes to move on, or it's no longer needed. But I think if you're forced to the point where you'd dismiss it after doing permanency, that'd be pretty rough. Now, if you die without the castle being made permanent, it just fades from existence. Makes sense, right? So a pretty cool ability, as we said. So certainly for PCs, gives them the ability to, if they're needing to add fortification to their existing realm or domain, again, provides that defense. If you're looking to more aggressively expand, perhaps, again, lets you set up something with a decent amount of fortification in or around or near to where maybe enemy territory is, and gives you sort of a launching point for that. Or it's a great way to sort of stem an invasion by just suddenly, poof, now there's a castle where the enemy thought there would be none, and then use that to fortify and counterattack. And again, if permanency is required, nice way to sort of just, again, instantly create a castle, fortification, or whatever it might be, and just not have to invest the sheer amount of gold that it would cost to build that, and not have to deal with again the issues with remote locations and things like that, and have to build a whole infrastructure around being able to transport the material, workers, etc., to build a castle, and also the time it would take to actually build up a castle, especially the more elaborate ones and things like that. So pretty cool ability overall, but again with some pretty hefty requirements and a very real sort of life resource requirement in the form of 10 years if you're going permanent with it. But pretty cool. Priests don't have anything similar to that, although it'd be interesting if they could create some sort of just temple holding as a temporary thing. But anyway, let us know what you think of Stronghold, guys, if you've used it for any of your wizard characters in your games or campaigns, and if you've encountered that similarly by surprise, if the DM threw it in from like an NPC or something like that, and just sort of, again, surprised or ambushed the party with this Stronghold where they thought there would be none, if they were maybe chasing down one of the NPC wizards, the Anshe or something like that. So drop us a comment, guys, like and subscribe. We'll be moving on with Subversion next, and then we're again entering the home stretch here of the Wizard Realm spells. Take care.